What if nobody actually perceives you the way that you think they perceive you? I was thinking about this as a formal people pleaser and as someone who kind of feared about being perceived online. I know that others struggle with being perceived online as well. And it had me going into a deep dive on what even is perception. By definition, it says in psychology, perception refers to the process by which individuals receive, interpret, and organize sensory information from their environment to create a meaningful experience. So perception is very individualized. There are no two people that will perceive the exact same way, but they will be placed in the same exact situation. There is no two people that will perceive the same exact thing despite them being in the same exact room witnessing it at the same time. I remember when I was a child, I had this thought of what if everyone doesn't see the colors the same way? Like red to me could be blue to someone else, but because we were both brought up believing that this one color was called red, we both interpret it as red, despite us seeing two different things. And as an adult, I learned that that is actually a truth for some people. We don't perceive colors the same exact way. You don't even perceive colors the same way when you are in different emotional states. When you are extremely happy, colors are more vibrant than when you are sad and depressed. So why can't the same be true for people? No matter how you try to present yourself, there will always be people who perceive you their own way because perception is individualized. So while many people will struggle with trying to conform and fit themselves into a box in order to be perceived in a positive way, not everyone will even perceive you that way anyways. So why aren't you being your authentic self? You have a perception of yourself. When you look in the mirror, you react in a certain way. You see things in certain ways. We even have things called body dysmorphia where you perceive yourself to be completely different than what the outside world actually perceives you. Now, with that truth, know that everyone else has that perception of you as well. They have their own lives, their own culture, how they were brought up, and their own senses. So when they view you, from speaking to walking to the way you look, it will be completely different than the next person. That is why they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because one person may perceive someone as ugly while the next person will see beauty in every single aspect of that person. What if we're actually living in a world where I know what I look like when I look in the mirror, but someone else views me and maybe my hair's in an afro instead of locks, or maybe I have piercings on my face. Maybe something is completely different right now with you looking at me, and you just have that perception because that is your world. Now imagine every single person in this world has their own perception of you, the way you look, who you are, everything about you. And you start to realize how silly it is to fear being perceived because it's only their world. Everyone is you pushed out. When I say that, I don't mean that everyone is actually you. What I'm saying is every single person that you interact with is based off of your perception, how you receive the information, on how you interact with them. There could be someone who speaks to you and they have the perception of speaking to you with kindness, but you take it as rudeness or fake. But that's because that is based off of your perception on how you're interpreting that information. The same is true for you. You can move authentically as yourself, but there will still be people who view you as being fake. Just like one person can view you as being extremely intelligent, someone else might think you're an idiot. That's just the way life goes. Are either one of those people wrong? No, not necessarily, because it's their perception. It's their world. So as a person who tries to box himself in and won't push past their fears of being perceived when they'll be perceived anyways, it only hinders your perception of yourself, which is the most important. And I don't say all of this to say just be an a-hole to every single person you meet, because none of it really matters, because the key is always to be authentically you. And we also have to keep in mind about frequency. When you try to lower yourself and be negative and push that out, you are literally lowering your frequency on that vibration. you're becoming the thing you are projecting, which keeps you in that frequency and changes your perception around you into dropping into negativity. So I'm not saying just be a butthole to every single person you encounter, because it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is be authentically aligned with who you are and be okay and comfortable with being perceived, because that perception really won't matter when you realize that you're just a mirror to that person as they are a mirror to you. So if you're someone who struggles with being perceived, or if you try to box yourself in to fit a certain characteristic in order to be a people pleaser, I hope that this video really resonates with you and opens your eyes onto what perception actually is, and how at the grand scheme of things, none of it matters. The only thing that matters is not being aligned with who you are truly. To allow another person or a group of people to dictate who you should be and how you should present in this world does nothing but satisfy their perception, and it hinders yours, keeping your frequency low instead of expanding and growing with knowledge and authenticity. If you're new to this channel, my name is Elle. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave comments down below, and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.